what is up, everybody? We're here. Um, we're going to do the collective reading for the first half of Aquarius season. Sorry, my mind had a blank there for a second. But how are y'all been? Like, how did Capricorn season go for y'all? Definitely let me know. Like, it's been a big season, big shifts that went on, and now as all the planets move into Aquarius season, it feels like, finally moving forward or finally seeing kind of some external shift that is happening in reflection of the internal shift. So I tapped into the energy of the first 2 weeks of Aquarius season to see what is coming up and kind of touch on how the energy is flowing for us collectively throughout the season, or the first half of the season. And it's really interesting. I was trying to think of how I could summarize this time, and the phrases that were coming to my mind was like rewriting like a story, or just having like a full circle moment, where you can choose differently, or get to, like rewrite something or redo a former decision, right? I have the rainbow spread with the tarot cards, and I also pulled two cards from the Barbie Oracle that I'm going to start with before we get into it. And then to close out, of course, we're going to finish with the Animal Spirit Oracle cards. And I'm also going to read to you some of the notes that I wrote down earlier as I was kind of channeling this, because I can see this really going a couple of different ways for the collective. So I'm going to try to get, a good, well-rounded perspective here so that, most people can tap into what's going on for them in their lived experience. So we're going to start with the Barbie Oracle, right? And I was only going to pull one card, but two came out. We got the 1980 Black Barbie. And then we also got Midge. So I'm going to read these for you guys first. And as we go through the tarot spread, you're going to see how, I'm going to explain how this is kind of weaving into this energy here. So we're going to start with the 1980 Black Barbie. It says, the first Black Barbie made her debut in 1980, designed by Kitty Black Perkins, a renowned designer for Barbie who created many of her popular looks. Perkins worked to ensure that the doll's hair and facial features accurately reflected Black women so children could play with a doll who looked like them. Barbie was dressed in a bright, vibrant red dress paired with glam statement jewelry, and her legacy continues to resonate today. The world is more beautiful when everyone can see themselves represented equally, and this groundbreaking Barbie proves it. So what's really coming forward with this, that's going to kind of add some depth to our tarot reading, is kind of being able to see yourself represented, right? The world is more beautiful when everyone can see themselves represented equally. So as we're moving forward through Aquarius season, which, that is kind of such an Aquarius value, being able to move forward and kind of be who you are unapologetically, despite what the external perception is, right? So we also have Midge. It says, Midge is one of the oldest members of the Barbie crew. She and her Barbie are always united by their unbreakable bond, cheering each other on at each milestone, be it a new career, relationship, or home. What matters is not the path, but the people, and having someone to lean on makes the journey that much sweeter. What can you do to celebrate your friendships? Maybe it's writing them a letter to show your appreciation, sending a thoughtful gift, or just spending quality time together. So, the main energy that's coming through here with the first 2 weeks of Aquarius season, is this idea of, what mattering not only being the path, but also the people, and having someone to lean on, community, people who have shared values and shared perspectives as you, really helps kind of sustain you as you move forward on a path that is a little bit more authentic to your own ego, spirit, soul desires, rather than feeling like you need to conform to the social norm or the social culture. So those are the two like big energies that I want to put forward before we get into this reading for Aquarius season, or the first half of Aquarius season, which by the way came through so fast. Like, first of all, I totally forgot to do the mid-season reading for Capricorn season. But then, yeah, yesterday I was thinking about this season reading, and I was like, wait, today is when Aquarius season starts. So I am doing this a day into Aquarius season, but it'll still be very helpful. So we're going to start off with the life position. This is the main energy that we're stepping into right here, right now, as a collective, the first half of Aquarius season. And we're starting off with the Ace of Cups. So big heart opening opportunity for us as a collective right now with the Ace of Cups. Obviously, that's your heart space desires, the things that you need to be satisfied, fulfilled, supported on a deep level. And stepping into Aquarius season, this is really interesting because Aquarius being an air sign and also kind of being detached from emotion, essentially. It's interesting to be coming into this moment where we're really focused on emotional fulfillment, emotional satisfaction. And that really is because we have Pluto in Aquarius right now. And as all the planets move into Aquarius at this moment, they are conjoining with Pluto, which is really asking us for that deep fulfillment, for that deep kind of raw, vulnerable, like intimate resonance. You know, that's what we're all looking for right now. But we're looking for it in a way that is authentic to us, right? Authentic to our natural energy, our natural ego identity. So, what did I write? So I wrote Ace of Cups, deep emotional fulfillment is the main focus. Desire for new emotional beginnings, inward or external. Yeah, so I feel like for some of us, like this is tapping into our self, like intimately. Like a lot of people are doing like deep self-reflection at this moment. But then others of us are really at this place where we are expanding on something externally, but we need to make sure that it's really in alignment with our heart truth, you know? So, what else did I say? Vulnerable opening, heart space activation. So then I pulled an extra card, a clarifier, and I got the Five of Cups. And the Five of Cups, this is that like remorse, regret, crying over spilled milk. Sorry, crying over spilled milk card. So this is this kind of like looking back on past disappointments that have come through. And it's so interesting to have this Ace of Cups with this Five of Cups, because as we are moving forward with this new heart space activation, you know, this new heart space opening, what we are desiring to create is being informed by these past disappointments of things that we lost, you know? Typically with the Five of Cups type of energy, there is a focus on perspective here, where obviously the past loss is hurts, you know, but then there is two cups behind you, a space for new resonance that you can shift your focus to. And I think what's going on here is that, you know, the focus has already been shifted, but I feel like at this time right now, something feels nostalgic, you know, especially because I like to do tarot math, and the Five of Cups and the Ace of Cups would make the Six of Cups, you know, which is kind of like that past energy, nostalgia, kind of childhood needs, childhood desires for nurture and safety, you know. There is a nostalgia that is informing this new way that we're moving forward, right? There were some things, some situations, people even that were lost in the past, you know, that held some type of emotional resonance. And it feels like that emotional resonance is what we're seeking in the future. And there are aspects of that that we are desiring to recreate, you know, on this new path, this new direction. There could be some people right now who already see a space that they want to enter into, like a community or, kind of just way of engaging in interpersonal relationships that they desire to have a vulnerable expression, a vulnerable connecting moment. And this is the kind of opportunity to do that, It feels like the tide has shifted in a particular way where there is some type of thing that's coming back from the past, or a new situation in the present that is reminiscent of a past disappointment or a past loss. 444. I'm seeing on the clock right now as I say that. So, let me see if there's anything else before I want to move forward into the next position. Let's see. 5 of Cups, reflecting on past disappointments and regrets. An apology or illumination on why something was lost. Yeah. Something that comes through with the 5 of Cups, it feels like this energy of saying, like, I'm sorry. So for some people too, this could even be something coming back from the past, someone coming back from the past apologizing, for whatever, disappointment that they've caused. But something is definitely coming through where you're getting a moment to make a decision in a new way, right? So, moving forward to the healing position, this is how we are actively using our energy at this moment, kind of based off of this heart space opening that we are experiencing, right? So, we're coming forward with the Hierophant in the reverse. And so this card is about tradition. It's about the tried and true. This is about external wisdom and seeking guidance, It feels like mentorship. It feels like a teacher, a spiritual guide even. But it can also be just like that social norm, that social convention, right? Especially in regards to what we kind of define to be valuable or meaningful or worthy of committing our time and our energy to, right? So in the reverse here, the Hierophant with the healing energy, this is that moment to kind of reflect. And the Hierophant is the 5th major arcana, right? Number 5. Ooh, if I can pick the card back up. And I always connect like numbers. So the Hierophant is really speaking to this 5 of Cups where there could have been an old belief system, an old tradition, or old, kind of guiding principle that you were so committed to. And because you felt like you had to go down this path, it's caused you to sacrifice some situations that were just genuinely like heart fulfilling, heart satisfying, It poured into your cup in a way that was not defined traditionally as rational, logical, practical, or within some type of culture or belief system, so you let those things go. But now you're at this point where you're realizing that you desire in your present moment experiences that filled you up authentically, like the ones that you've lost, Or if somebody's coming back for some of you, this is that person coming back and being like, hey, I'm sorry that I let this go. I felt like I couldn't move outside of this belief system or this tradition or, whatever type of social pressure was put on them, And so expanding on this Hierophant in the reverse, I also pulled the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, right? So the Knight of Pentacles is this energy of expanding on a, particular goal. But the reversal, well, first of all, the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest knight in the deck. Like, Pentacles always take consistency and effort and discipline to really grow. And so the Knight is really moving like one step at a time. They're very discerning about how they are expanding on the foundation that they've already built. And so in the reverse, it's like even slower, And this is important as we're moving forward here because like we are expanding on something, right? But this next step has to be so completely authentic to who we are and what we desire, you know, in order for us to really feel happy with it. You know, there's a need to shift outside of, you know, this former belief system of who we thought we were supposed to be, or thought we were supposed to navigate life, or thought with certain like milestones that we were supposed to achieve and work towards and manifest, you know. And for some people, this moment at the beginning of Aquarius season is kind of your chance to take a step back on certain things that you were building towards, that you realize now were not personal goals, were not in alignment with your actual desires. For others, this is like kind of when you're on this step of expanding on what you've built already, and you're trying to go about it in the traditional way, you know, there's a way that the traditional or social, cultural, conditioned beliefs or values on growing or expanding on this thing, there's a way that you've been feeling, I guess, trapped, if that makes sense. Like there's a particular structure that you feel like you're supposed to build in, and your values don't quite align with how that structure is put together. So it's kind of been making you feel like you've been spinning your wheels, or, you know, it's just been uncomfortable to grow. And so this is kind of this moment where you are separating yourself from this structure and discovering ways to do this that's in alignment with who you are, right? It's taking the framework and flipping it into your own skill, your own talent, your own nature, if that makes sense. You know, this is really bringing in that energy of the Black Barbie, where with the Hierophant in the reverse and the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, it's like you've been building towards something that hasn't been representing you. You know what I mean? So now how can you flip the rules, flip the script, flip the outline, and kind of mold it into your value, your moral center, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know why moral wanted to come out, but it's just, you know, your belief system, your natural like skill, you know. So that is the energy for the healing. That's how we are activating this energy. So moving forward into the sunlight position, this is the possible successes and achievements we can look forward to. We're coming forward first and foremost with the Queen of Wands, and I love this because this is the energy of just being yourself, you know, purely in alignment with your own personal expression, your own passion, your own inspired creative action, you know. The Queen of Wands, like, first of all, she is an energy of attracting, right? She kind of attracts attention. She attracts all the things that she desires to kind of aid to her passion, you know? She has some type of creative talent, creative skill that she has developed purely through the love of doing this, and because this energy kind of just lives within her and exudes out of her. And so here, having this in the sunlight position, this is showing me that the collective has a opportunity right now, the first half of Aquarius season, to really shine and be recognized just as they are, you know, for their innate creative expression, their innate creative gift, you know, that they provide to themselves and in turn provide to the world. So there is a recognition that's here. That's very important if you're moving forward here in alignment with truly what is fulfilling you emotionally on a deep, deep, deep soul level. And the clue here is that, you know, with this Queen of Wands, is something that you already do. You know what I mean? And you love to do it. And it's not about what anybody thinks about it. You know what I mean? You know, even with the Hierophant in the reverse and the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, it could be that nobody knows that you like this, or nobody knows that you do this, you know, or nobody knows that you've been trying to get better at this thing, you know? But you've been doing it because you love it. And that is kind of the message here. You have a chance to kind of rewrite some story, rewrite some goal that you want to manifest. I need my cards read. Sorry, y'all. I record these on Twitch, so there's somebody in the chat saying they need their cards read. But yeah, anyways. Yeah, with this Queen of Wands, there is a recognition here, and I pulled the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse on top of this. And so this is such an interesting combo because the Wheel of Fortune sometimes has that connotation of luck behind it, right? And this is really kind of one of the combinations that was bringing forth this idea of something coming full circle, you know, something coming back around, and you being authentically in alignment with your desire and what you care for. And so this time you're able to make the decision that is in your heart. You know what I mean? Rather than making the decision that you thought you were supposed to make to fit in with the rules socially. Hi, I hope you are having a blessed evening. Thank you very much. I hope you are too, Dan the boy. Okay, so what else did I write with this Wheel of Fortune? So when I pulled this, on the bottom of the deck also was the Two of Pentacles. So that's also playing into this idea of like an opportunity kind of coming back tangibly, so that you are in this position where you're now making a decision, right? Now having to make a choice. You have this one path that you were already holding and that you were already going down, but then something comes back around and you're now just like, oh, there's this other thing, and it's activating an emotional truth within you. And so now it's time for you to kind of decide which way you want to go. And I feel like the obvious answer to me is go in the direction that's in alignment with your heart, you know, who you are. I said, an opportunity to show up differently with a past goal. Something comes back and you are faced with a decision. You can choose what's in your heart this time, or a moment to release what's not real for you. Okay. With the Wheel of Fortune, there's also like this energy of timing that comes through, where like, you know, sometimes you kind of wonder like what is the right timing, or if there's a right timing, or if there isn't a right timing, right? And with the reversal here, you know, I think that it could feel logical to interpret this as like not the right time, but it more so feels like kind of something that just once again comes full circle, something that comes all the way back around, you know? I feel like there is an octave to the situation, right? So if it's not something that is a literal situation that's coming back, it's like a new situation that is the next octave of kind of this old thing that you experienced where you made the decision that was in line with kind of the social convention, right? And now, like, you're just like, oh, there's an opportunity that was similar to this thing that happened. And now I am in a space where I am feeling much more inclined to go for what I truly just want on myself, for myself, you know, rather than once again constricting yourself to this belief system of what you're supposed to have. So, yeah, for the sunlight here, first half of Aquarius season, I definitely feel like something's coming back. Something is like an opportunity coming back, and you now having the opportunity to, you know, make a new decision that is in alignment with what you actually want. And, you know, for some people that is moving forward with this thing that's coming back, or other people it's kind of, you know, hopping off of something that wasn't really for you now in this like opportune moment. Like, it feels like you wanted to let go of it before, but you held on to it because of traditional value, traditional belief. But now you're just like, the opportunity is coming back for you to like possibly hop off of this and not have too much like collateral damage, you know? So then moving forward, we're gonna go into the nature, which is like the grounding position. How can we stay grounded through this energy? And we're coming through with the Chariot card. And I love the Chariot card. You know, it's about kind of having like a glow up or like a level up, or really just a felt sense of progression, you know, karmically. This really comes through with integration, you know, a process of integration that happens. So one, the Chariot is the Cancer card, you know, so it's has connection to the sign of Cancer, which is ruled by the moon, which is kind of like our emotional state, right? The Chariot card is really about integration with an idealized version of self and kind of the shame or shadow self, which is usually just your emotional truth. You know what I mean? Your deep, true, like emotional needs that society kind of tells you to push away. You know, society tells you that that's not real or something that's worth, you know, investing your time and your energy into. If you're not honoring the needs of kind of this ideal vision that you have for yourself, but then also this like shadow version of self that you've kept, you know, hidden in the closet a little bit. If both of those things are not being met, then you are likely feeling stuck. You're likely feeling difficulty moving forward towards your desires, right? So to have that Chariot kind of glow up, level up, you have to be honoring your emotional truth. You have to be honoring your emotional desires, right? And let's see. For the Chariot, I wrote soul growth and progress through integration. Yes, this time can be profound for a glow up or level up, honoring all parts of yourself, especially the shadow self. Aspects or needs that have yet to be honored. Hold the tension and avoid extremes. Okay, this is so important, right? The avoiding extremes. Because you can't only be investing into this idealized version of yourself, and you can't only be feeding kind of the shadow self, you know? There is a tension that needs to be held there, and I prefer saying like a tension to be held rather than trying to balance, because I don't believe that balance really exists. But, you know, we hold tension in a particular way, and sometimes it's more on this side, and sometimes it's more on this side. But it's all about what is allowing you to keep moving forward, right? Keep having a progression. And if you need to be doing more of this, you know, to kind of keep yourself at a level where you can keep moving forward, then it's whatever. But I did pull an extra card for this too, and I got the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. And the Queen of Pentacles is typically about like your habits, your routines, your rhythms, you know, that kind of sustain, I guess, your sense of stability, security, safety, especially materially, you know, with those kind of sensual things that we enjoy, whether that's like food or music or stuff like that, or even material resources that provide, you know, those pleasurable things, if that makes sense. So the reversal here is really interesting because, you know, while we're making these shifts in our guiding principles and our values and our belief system, the external kind of rhythms, the external routines and realities are in flux, you know? So you're not going to be able to feel like your external reality is, I guess, like stable, but what's developing is an internal stability, right? A internal kind of fortitude in regards to making those everyday decisions, or that's really what I want to say, like making those everyday decisions that are in alignment with your new sense of value or the new kind of long-term goals that you're trying to build. You know, since we are stepping out of this traditional way of moving, it looks different externally. You know what I mean? You're not going to be having those external kind of ideas or perceptions of success or value or meaning, or even that like social kind of acceptance. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's hard for Queen of Pentacles energy, especially if you are used to working towards that kind of external validation or those external material things that project a sense of success. You know, you may not have those things anymore, but what you're developing is that inner fortitude, that inner like grounding that helps you feel like yourself. You know what I mean? Especially with this Chariot card, it's allowing you to feel more like yourself internally and with the external decisions that you're making, right? This feels like a talk your talk, walk your walk type of energy, where with the Chariot card here, you're kind of coming home to yourself and coming home to your emotional truth and your emotional needs. And with the Queen of Pentacles here, like you are talking that talk with your physical decisions and your physical actions, even if externally that means, you know, those material things that used to represent success and status and security, you know, even if those things fall to the wayside, you're developing status within yourself. You know what I mean? You're developing strength within yourself. So that's the grounding energy. Moving into serenity. This is how we can cultivate more peace at this time. And it is coming up with the 10 of Pentacles. So, to me, like the way I interpret the 10 of Pentacles, I usually see this as that end goal. You know what I mean? Like if you were trying to build towards something, the 10 of Pentacles would represent achieving that. You know what I mean? Having that manifestation, hitting that goal, that milestone, that checkpoint. And, you know, to have this kind of in the section that is telling us how to cultivate more peace at this time, it's really asking us to focus on this 10 of Pentacles, right? So in the spread, it comes underneath this Hierophant in the reverse, where it's asking you, or basically suggesting, you know, like in regards to the goals that you're working towards, are you building towards something that is authentic for you, or are you still building towards something that is reflective of a belief system that was put on you, or maybe that it was inherited through like family, you know. I think if you are continuing to be like self-reflective and intentional in how you're building, you know, you can keep this end goal in your mind kind of as your inspiration, even if your external situation materially, you know, is shifting. You know, you at least know that you are working towards something that is completely in alignment with, you know, what you desire and what you consider to be valuable and successful, but it's also aligned emotionally, and within your spirit, you know. It can't always be about the pentacles. I meant to say, can't always be about the pentacles. You know, it has to incorporate wands and cups, because if it doesn't have wands, then you're not going to want to get up and do it. You know, and if it doesn't have cups, then it's not going to be fulfilling. It's not going to be satisfying. So keep the end goal in mind, right? And also we have the 10 of Wands. And so the 10 of Wands usually to me is that card of like burnout. It's energetic weight on your shoulders of the things that you have to show up for. And even feeling like you're doing this all on your own, right? So 10s represent the end of a cycle. So for some folks, with the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles here and how you can cultivate more peace, this is really about kind of the cycle that you're ready to like let go of, or the old beliefs that you're ready to let go of, right? Whatever, or the current way that you've been building really has been causing this energy of burnout. You know what I mean? It's like you are losing your capacity to show up for this energetically. And because of that, you're kind of expanding in regards to this kind of Knight of Pentacles that's assisting the Hierophant card. You're expanding on a goal that's personal and internal, you know? So if you're letting go of an old manifestation, an old job, an old title, an old resource, you know, this is in service for you to start a new and plant a new seed that is also in alignment with, you know, your deep emotional needs. If this is for the people who have been building and working within a particular structure and, you know, struggling to wrap their mind around that, this is kind of a cycle that's ending in your perspective on how you thought you had to approach this, right? And you're letting go of doing this in a way that is within this type of rules or outlines and flipping those rules on its head, right? Kind of getting more creative and showing up for this in a way that is in alignment with your natural energy, right? With the wands, and kind of making new rules, right? It's like shifting the rules in a way. You're tweaking the rules so that they fit your passion, they fit your unique expression. You're really into this stuff. Yes, I am really into this stuff. Am I next? Well, this is a collective read, so this is going on my YouTube. But I do sometimes do lives on my Instagram page and open up for readings in the comments. Or if you wanted to tip me on my Ko-Fi page, I could do a reading for you after I do this. Yeah, how you can cultivate more peace. Like, realize that this is the shift, right? Realize that this is the end of a cycle, you know? 10 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, and the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. Some people are coming back and closing out an old system that they felt down to. What about bits? I'm not sure what bits is. Okay, so the last position here is the message from Spirit. And this is anything Spirit wants you to know or how you can best use your energy moving forward. And the first card coming up is this Ace of Wands. So listen, this is the card of Spirit itself. It is the pure energy of fire, passion, purpose, desire, action, inspiration, vitality. Take action, take a chance on what you actually want. You know what I mean? You feel it within you. And accompanying this is the Four of Wands. And so the Four of Wands always reminds me of that favorite hobby, that favorite pastime, the favorite activity that you can do, never get bored of. Sometimes there's a best friend that you do this with. Sometimes it's a community of people. For a lot of us in the collective that are resonating with this message, there is, you know, some type of passionate, creative activity, hobby that you are a part of, that you do, you know, and it's what you love to do. And I feel like there's definitely like a way that you want to take a chance on this. You know what I mean? Like you want to move forward in a, you know, I want to say solo way, but it's not that you want to do it by yourself, but there is some personal connection that you have to this activity that you desire to expand upon, you know? And for some of you, you know, I can even feel like there was a way that you may even be a little bit too considerate of what people might think of you if you know, show up and show yourself as like wanting to build in this way. I don't know if that made sense. Why I feel that way is because we do have the Queen of Wands here, which is really an energy of being seen, right? But the Queen of Wands is not like putting herself out there for attention. She just gets the attention because she's skilled. And so it's like a lot of you like want to expand in this reality or in this world, but it feels weird to, I guess, feel like you're trying to show off, you know? So I feel like there's an apprehension there, but you know, Spirit is just like, do it, just have fun. You know, the people want to see you shine regardless. Bits are from Twitch and they cost money. Oh, well, I don't really work with Twitch that much. I kind of just use it to film some content. So I would prefer my other platforms, honestly. So Spirit is saying, definitely take a chance on your passion in the space where you are most like aligned and have the most fun. The Ace of Wands and the Four of Wands is the Five of Wands, which is playing the game, putting yourself out there, advocating for your own need. You don't have to compare to other people, you know, use other people as inspiration rather than like comparing yourself to them and, you know, not feeling as talented or skilled or charismatic, you know? Everybody has their own unique approach and you can literally sit into that and move forward with this. It's about what you want, not what other people think about what you want, you know? And then the last card that's kind of assisting here with the Ace of Wands and the Four of Wands is the Four of Swords in the reverse. So the Four of Swords, rest, meditation, sleeping on a decision, right? I feel like there has, well, the reversal goes into this energy of like procrastination mentally. So I feel like there have been ways that you've been wanting to kind of move forward with this thing, but you've been just not quite overthinking it, but just you're sleeping on it. You know what I mean? Like you're sleeping on the potential of this thing or the potential of the opportunities that you can magnetize towards you if you engage with this and you invest more time into this. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of seeing here. Like spirit is just like, stop sleeping on this. It's your passion. You can never get bored of this. Like you get up in the morning and you want to do this thing. You know what I mean? It just lives in you. So just do it, and then the opportunities come in and you get to experience this thing that you thought you had to sacrifice, So that is the tarot message. Yeah, I hope that y'all were able to follow that. We're gonna finish off with the the animal spirit, and we're gonna pull 2 of these just to wrap up the message for the first half of Aquarius season. Let's see what's coming through. What is coming through for us? First half of Aquarius season. Any energy with the animal spirits that we need to know, be aware of, or possibly embody as we flow through Aquarius season these first 2 weeks. Please and thank you. We have the dragon. And we also have the hawk. Okay, so I'm going to read the hawk first because it has a shorter passage. And then I'll read the dragon after that one. Okay, so let's see what the hawk has to say. Eagle, hawk. Okay. It says, hawk, watchful, all-seeing, messenger of divinity. The sharp eyes of the hawk watch our every move. This keen-eyed bird has the ability to see every little detail as well as the bigger picture. When this card appears, fate has its eyes on you and the winds are shifting. It is said that the hawk carries news upon its wings and is sent from divinity itself to deliver it. The message should not be taken lightly. Though it may seem small or insignificant, it will eventually redirect your course. When in balance, it sees clearly and it's intuitive. When out of balance, it sees too much and it's suspicious. To bring it to balance, perspective shift. I love the message of the hawk being a messenger, right? Because I really feel like there's something coming back around. Like for some people, like I feel like it's like an apology or, an opportunity comes back that almost like you felt rejected for in the past. Especially with the 5 of Cups energy, that is reflecting kind of on past disappointments. But yeah, something's coming back. Something's coming back. When the card appears, fate has its eyes on you and the winds are shifting. That's kind of the energy of the Wheel of Fortune here. Something that you thought was closed out comes back around. And it recognizes you authentically. It is a opportunity or something that was drawn to you. And now you get to choose. Okay, so let's look at the dragon. Okay, dragon, seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there at our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we are courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It is almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror, deep into our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who is watching us. This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. We let the dragon guide us. We hop on its back for a ride as we traverse even the most difficult terrain. The dragon's eyes see the beauty everywhere. It is said that if a yogi does not see beauty in the world, their Agni is dim. I'm gonna have to turn the page. Agni described as inner fire or sacred intelligence. Maybe even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. The dragon and the third chakra. The subtle energy of the dragon lives at the navel center in the Manipura chakra. Manipura translates to the city of hidden gems, and behind its gates burn the fire of our transformation and digestion. The sages believe health of the fire at the navel center is what governs our ability to clearly see both the inner and outer dimensions. Nice. Okay, so one, the first passage, it says, seeing one's most true self, balancing the ego. And that's definitely what this is about. You know, with this Queen of Wands energy, with the Chariot energy, you're integrating your true self. You're integrating your ego desire into your external expression, you know? And then I loved that it's talked about Agni, which is described as the inner fire or sacred intelligence. And then the imagery in the booklet here is this like person holding a match, you know? And that's literally what the Ace of Wands is, which came up in our advice or our spirit section, which, like I said, this is the pure energy of spirit. This is what you're tapping into. This is what we're tapping into if you're not already in alignment with this. You know what I mean? You're tapping into your inner fire. You're tapping into that sacred intelligence that just knows what to do. And that honestly happens in a place of stillness, right? In a place of kind of stepping back from the external influence. And when you're in that stillness and you can feel and integrate the things that you've been missing on a deep heart level, then you know what you want to do. You know where you want to go. You know the experiences you desire to seek. You know what is passionate. You know what is fun. You know what you love. This is the time to just do it, even if people don't understand it. So that's the message, everybody, for the first half of Aquarius season. Listen, do the social media stuff, the like, the share, the subscribe, the hype. I think that's the new YouTube thing. I don't even know if that's like available for everybody. Comment down below, all that good stuff. And yeah, I hope you have a good time like navigating this first half of Aquarius season. It's a full circle moment. It's a chance for us to rewrite some old stories, you know, and really move forward in a way that is completely aligned, completely authentic, completely infused with purpose and passion and love and joy. Yeah, it's fun. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.